Hey everyone, Jared Gaspy, your local real estate superhero here again. It is just shy of the afternoon, but we did our gratitudes this morning. We wrote down the things that we were grateful for, and so I wanted to, find time to squeeze in this video so that way I can share that with you guys. I desperately need a shave. One thing I'm not grateful for, fun fact, is the fact that I kind of grow facial hair in the same way that, my Filipino side would, where I kind of get like this Fu Manchu going on, so I don't grow facial hair right here. I just grow it right here, and I grow it right here. And so, eventually, hopefully that evens out at one point or another, but right now, it just doesn't. And so it doesn't look that good. But that's all right. Point is, we're focusing on what we're grateful for, and I wanted to be able to take a little bit of time to share that with you guys. So, I have my coffee, because it could be, 5 in the morning, or it could be 5 in the evening, and I'm still going to be drinking coffee, so going over the things that we're grateful for today, though, because some of them actually mean a lot. Some of them not so much, and they're just kind of selfish things that I really appreciate. But my first thing that I put down was a phone call with my mom. And I'm not going to go a whole lot into it, but my mom got sick recently. And not with the same kind of sickness that everyone's worried about getting right now, but definitely got sick, and it was intense, and it was kind of scary. And so one thing that I do very frequently, especially now that I no longer live in the same city as my mom, is she and I talk on the phone all the time. Usually every day, if not every other day. And, she got sick, and so made sure that she was doing okay, and talked to her a little bit whenever she was getting home and dealing with everything. But, I try to also give her a little bit of space, so I haven't really been talking to her the last couple of days. I've kind of let her recuperate, let her kind of get her energy back. And she actually called me this morning because she had some errands that she needed to run. And it's really nice to be able to hear, her voice and just know that she's doing all right and that she's powering through. And even whenever it's not because she had been dealing with something or I had been dealing with something, I really do value and cherish the fact that, even though we're, hours away from each other now, we still find time to see how we're doing and follow up with each other and make sure that we, really, it's weird. It's not even like we really care so much about the little details of what's going on in each other's lives. We just care to be a part of it. And so, hearing that someone cut her off in traffic, or hearing that someone took the last box of Twinkies whenever I went grocery shopping, it's not stuff that we're going to talk about a year from now, but it's hearing the small little things and just kind of experiencing the small little experiences together, despite the fact that we're apart. That really makes it kind of fun. So I love my mom. I am a very big self-proclaimed mama's boy. So that's number one. Number two, this is just the dumb one. I watch a lot of videos whenever I'm doing paperwork and just random media work. And so if I'm editing videos, or if I'm just responding to emails, basically if I'm not on the phone or expecting phone calls, or in a very high focused environment or appointments, I like having just stuff playing in the background, because I don't really make a whole lot of extra time to watch fun movies or TV shows. And so when I do, I try to give a lot of attention to them. But when I don't, I try to just have stuff that I enjoy playing in the background. So I watch what's called Game Grumps, which if we were doing a whole bunch of editing, I would be like, oh, Game Grumps. But watch them, and they are playing Monopoly again, which is my favorite board game of all time. And it's one of the board games I love playing the most. And it's just something I enjoy watching other people play too, because there's just so much thought that could go into it, and it doesn't always. And when it does, it's fun. And when it doesn't, it's fun. And so I love watching Monopoly. I love playing Monopoly. I love seeing fun people playing Monopoly. And so, yeah, it's weird. I know not everyone really enjoys Let's Plays, but it's a very fun thing to be able to have just kind of playing in the background. So that's number two. Number three is the fact that I mentioned before that I'm running out of space on my journal. And so I needed to see if I had another journal lying around the house, and I do. And that was what was really cool. So my third one is the fact that I have a journal that I really like, and it's not just any kind of journal. It's not like a textbook or a notepad or anything like that. It is a journal that I was given as a gift back whenever I was a mortician. And so it's actually labeled as a mortician journal. And so is it actually a mortician journal? Not really. It's basically just, blank pages that I need to fill out. But it's a brand new journal. It's got plenty of space in there, and it symbolizes the growth that I've had from one industry to the other, and the fact that I had a big impact on the last industry that I was a professional in, and the impact that I'm having right now as a professional in real estate. And so it's really cool to have not only, my gratitudes and my affirmations and my journaling and everything in one book, but it's a book that symbolizes the growth that I've had. So that one's kind of cool. That's number 3. Number 4, this one's, again, small thing that kind of just makes me appreciate it, is the view I have from my home office. I've never really dealt with my home office all too much. We had it as kind of a guest room for a while, and, as the second wave of shutdown started happening, I made the judgment call to really just say, okay, I need to get my office in check and, make it something that I can actually work in, which I have been. That's why it's on my older videos, you see like the couch and everything back here. The camera is set up on a desk right now, and it's definitely more office oriented. One thing that I never really gave a lot of appreciation to, though, is I'm burping. Is the fact that I have a really nice view from the window in my office where, the TV's right in front of it, so there's not a glare on the TV, and it's just the entire mountainside. And so I grew up, in Porterville and Bakersfield, where it's just flat in Porterville and you can see the other side of the town, or Bakersfield, where there's so much smog that you can't see the mountainsides anyways, despite, the fact that they're right there. And so it's not only really nice to just be able to see what's outside and see clear skies and see, the higher elevation making it to where the sky is bluer and the mountains just look more, realistic, which sounds bad, but again, in Bakersfield, you just don't see the mountainside. So when I say realistic, I know that sounds like it's kind of dumb because they're realistic because they're real, but I genuinely grew up not really seeing the mountains unless I go out of my way in order to go see them. And so it's phenomenal just to kind of have that there, and it's so easy to overlook because it's just there all the time. And it's not showing it right now, but where the mountainside is, it's where the super bloom was back a couple of years ago. And that, to have that be right where I'm working on a daily basis right now means a lot. It's really cool. And so it's a really easy thing to overlook. And it's something that I never really gave a lot of appreciation to before because I wasn't in my office all that much. It was just basically a guest room with a small desk in there. And so it was my quote unquote my office, but it wasn't really used as an office, and I never really appreciated what was in there. So now I definitely need to appreciate it because I'm having to do it every single day. So view from my office, that's number 4. Number 5 is weird. And so I'm going to preface it with the fact that it's weird. I'm also going to preface it with the fact that this is my wife's call. Basically, when our kittens were born, my wife and I actually had a friend who had a cat, and he was living with us, and his cat gave birth, and so we helped nurse the kittens, and we kept the kittens. And so we have 4 of the kittens that are actually related to each other. We helped them come out the womb, and we have even the times that they were born, not just the days. And so, yeah, they're about as much ours as they could possibly be. But it also meant that we were with them whenever they got fixed, when they got all their shots, whenever they've been getting older, when they've gotten sick, all the yada, 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 yada. Point is that one of them is named Cloud. He's a gray and white cat. He's adorable. He's kind of like that stoic, handsome kind of cat. But we did pay attention to whenever he was getting fixed and when he was getting his shots and all that stuff. And one thing that we noticed, and my wife just brought it up today, because I ask her on a daily basis, what's some stuff that she's grateful for. He has 2 different colored balls. And so, again, that's weird to just say. But yeah, no, one ball is gray and the other ball is white. And so this is getting less PG-13 as I'm talking about it. But it's really, it's like that stupid kind of thing that you see periodically because cats just love to show you their asshole. And so when he does stupid stuff like that, now that it's something that we've talked about and laughed at whenever he was a kitten and we were paying attention to the scars around, where his incisions were made from when he was getting fixed and all that stuff, we've noticed it, we've known about it for such a long time that anytime he flaunts himself in front of us, the only thing that you can see are the 2 different colored balls. And so it's weird. But it's my baby boy. So that's also something that my wife said she was grateful for. So if you think it's really weird, it's kind of my wife. My wife's really weird. I'm the normal one. I don't know if you guys knew this as I'm talking about my cat's ball sack. But my wife's the weird one. I'm normal. So keep that in mind going forward. No, that's a weirder one, but I do genuinely love my family that I've got here, and so they mean a lot to me. And small things like that make you chuckle are important to really appreciate. So there's some stupid stuff in my list of things that I'm grateful for, and there's some really very valuable and emotional stuff in the things that I'm grateful for today. And so it was kind of cool. It means a lot that I've got such a weird variety too, because yeah, I had a lot harder of a time thinking about some of the stuff to be grateful for, because the first one I wrote down was about my mom. And so when you're thinking about things to be grateful for, and your first one is something that's like that high in level of priority, you know, it makes it to where it's easy to just look at everything like it's not important anymore, and it can be, and it is. And so it took me a little bit more time to think about it, but now that I'm reflecting on them, it's really cool to kind of see this now. So that's it. That's my 5 things that I'm grateful for. I would like to hear what you guys are grateful for, like some of the stuff that's made, you know, a big impact. You know, those things like a family member that gets sick, or, you know, something small too, something minuscule that doesn't really make a huge daily impact, but it just makes you smile sometimes. That thing that may be easily overlooked, but you appreciate every day anyways. Those things are important too. You have to appreciate the little things. And so I would love to hear both. I want to hear the things that just make this huge impact, that made yesterday feel different from today because it's just so drastic of a change. But I also want to hear about the small stuff that just kind of can be easily overlooked, but build up. Because there's more small things out there, small little impacts in the world than there are big impacts, but they build up into this giant picture like a puzzle. And it kind of matters on how much we appreciate the small things, because we're the ones that decide what the image ends up being. So I want to hear some of the smaller things too. So let me hear what you guys have to say, and I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So appreciate everyone for watching, and yeah, talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye.